I don't quite know what I'm talking about, but black business really needs to step up. We really need to have a long term vision of where we are going instead of trying to just look at what we're getting now and to look at perhaps looking at clients as if they owe us, as if we don't have any allegiance to them. We just have to, as if they're begging us to provide a service or a product. We need to realize that it is them that make these black businesses. I mean, if you think about it, if think about any big business in South Africa, it's most likely to be white owned. If any of those businesses did not care at all about their clients, they most probably wouldn't be in existence today. But they are in existence mainly because they understand the client and they create products and services that best suit the client, the general average client that they target. And most industries, most spaces are covered by these businesses. So if we are going to want to compete on any level, we are going to have to ensure that we go the extra mile to try and sway people towards our side of things. I mean, if you're going to want to open a supermarket chain right now, you need to realize that you need to be going up against the best. You need to be going up against the biggest and most popular supermarket chains that are there in the country. And if you aren't going to meet at the very least meet their standards, then you aren't going to make it, because why would I come to you if I can already get the same standard somewhere that is already reputable? And if you're going to give me a lesser standard, then that question just falls off completely. So I think that we do need to really try stepping up and ensuring that we provide good service and ensuring that we improve on it. A lot of companies that are where they are today did not get there. They were not there from the beginning. It is through time, through evolution, through mistakes that they get to where they are. But they didn't get here by being arrogant. They got here by listening to the client, studying the market, evolving, innovating with the times. And so today, if you look at a supermarket chain that you know today, it wasn't the same 10 years ago. It wasn't the same 10 years from that. So you must understand that whatever it is that you go into, any business this is, it is going to have to evolve with the times. But most importantly, it is going to have to evolve with the client. I was part of a business that was a public business. It serviced the public. Created a website, and I thought this makes sense. This is just very close to perfect. And the very first 10 clients are going to tell you it doesn't make sense to them. They don't really understand the flow of things. And to me, it looked perfect. So I needed to sit down and adjust. And okay, so this doesn't make sense. What then makes sense? Ask more people, different people. Does this make sense to you? Are you unable to follow the flow here? And through that process, and through many iterations, I was able to then finally have a product or an interface, which is the website, that made sense to the clients. And the clients were then able to patronize my business. But even then, you still need to continue to optimize, still need to continue to innovate, you still need to continue to evolve with the clients, with the times, with whatever issues are happening in the world. I mean, if you look at what the pandemic brought about, it brought about a lot of change in industries. If companies were stagnant and very rigid and so set on their ways, they wouldn't have been able to have succeeded to have survived through that. And this is evident by the number of businesses that have died because of that. And if you look at the landscape in South Africa now, with all the electricity problems that we're having, a lot of companies are simply not geared up to survive through such. And as a result, there's a lot of companies, and maybe when I say a lot, it sounds like I'm talking about like the majority of the companies that we know, but there are a lot of upcoming companies that have suffered, and actually a lot of companies that we know that have closed up a lot of shop because they simply cannot handle the hit from power cuts and so on. So it is important that we step up. And yes, I know I ended up talking about a lot of businesses that may not necessarily even be black, but then this just goes to show that the business landscape is difficult, and if we are not going to be flexible enough to adapt to when you still have 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 clients, you need to understand that you're looking at a pool of potentially millions of people which exist in South Africa. And if you can't adapt and evolve with those few that you have right now, how then would you hope to survive when you're much bigger? And how then do we hope to grow as a community, as a collective? And how then do we aim to, how then would we hope to create supply chains and value chains that are going to uplift and are going to speak to the demographics of this country? Because right now, whatever it is that you try to do, unfortunately, the value chain simply isn't on our side as blacks. I mean, if you want to create a clothing brand, whoever's going to be supplying with material and all these other different things are probably going to be white businesses. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just saying that if we are going to want to argue that we need to have a good stake in the economy and all that, we need to understand that the entire value chain needs to be transformed. And it's not going to transform itself. The people who own value chains right now are not going to simply give up value chains. We need to fight for these value chains, but you don't just stand up and physically fight for a value chain. You win it, you conquer it, you create a competitive alternative that clients are then going to choose. And you're most likely going to have situations where clients are not happy, clients are not satisfied, and you're going to have to evolve through that, learn through that. Okay, what are the things that I'm doing wrong? How can I improve on that? How do I fix things? And then on the client side, clients have to also ensure that they hold businesses accountable. But then one mistake should not be the doom of a business. One mistake, even two perhaps, should not be the end of a business. Yes, businesses aren't going to be perfect from the get-go. And also remember, one client is not necessarily an indication of what all clients want. So maybe you are a client who isn't happy with a certain service, but everyone else is happy with that service. But as this communication needs to exist between the service provider and the service user, as to say, okay, look, I'm not happy with this. I think this should change. We want to support this business because it aligns with our values, or because the product seems like a good product, or because we believe in what you're trying to build. But if nothing changes, we may not be able to sustain our support for you. So please change something, and then be patient enough to wait for changes to happen. But then as well, on the other hand, service providers should then and try at the very least to implement changes so that the product, the service, the business is built for the clients and not for themselves. If any business, any car brand, any clothing brand, any shoe brand, any insurance brand was built based on what they want, it may not be successful. But if it's built based on the needs of the public and based on the user experience, based on statistics, based on human behavior, then, as is evident, things do grow in the right direction. Because, okay, you're building it for people. This is how people like it. So let's do it the way that people like it. And it grows so long as it makes business sense, so long as it fits, or it's to an extent fits your business model, then you can do it. So just step up and actually do the right thing and work hard, and understand that this is not an easy thing. You're not going to be making money very soon. I mean, yeah, sure, you might be, but the vast majority of businesses really take time to take off, and it really takes time for you to actually get a good grasp on the market. But if you're going to expect it to be easy, if you're going to believe so much in your product that you are going to be rigid and unteachable, then you may as well quit. You may as well quit very soon. Because the clients want what they want, and if you can't provide what they want, they're going to go find it somewhere else. Or they're just not going to go for it in any case. I mean, if it's not there, if it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. So yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I really think that business and service providers and product creators should step up and show that whatever they're creating actually suits, ooh, that's not nice, actually suits their clients. And clients should actually try and help businesses mold these products, services, and businesses so as to suit them. Thank you.